Road trippers, heed my warning. Every morning, every time you take off, do a safety check. You ever hear that expression, ride it till the wheels fall off? Well, damn it if I almost did. Look at this tire tread, y'all. This was miles later. We had to stop what we were doing and grab some new rubber. If I didn't take the time to walk around the rig inspecting for all of these things, check your lights, check your tires, check your fluids, check everything, and stay prepared. Notice I have my jack with me, a solid 4-way, gloves and roadside equipment. I even got my farmer's tan blaring in this joint. But I was ready, and you have to be ready if you're making a road trip of this caliber. I cannot stress it enough. Do a safety check. You'll thank me later when you're not stranded. So, you've heard me say I do all my own stunts. After all this craziness with the new tires that we had to grab along the way, not to mention we had just got new leaf springs because they had failed, we had to make a trip through some really crazy terrain. I remember yelling, hypothetically, about gravel roads and did anybody do their homework and all kinds of crazy stuff, hypothetically, because you know I'm a level-headed dude. We got to our next destination, which was an awesome hot spring, and our hotel was right around the corner from that, so it was really, really relaxing to have that stress melt away after all of that craziness the days before. Here I am with the boss working on my tan. Just kidding. After the days that we had before this, like leading up to this moment, we needed a good relaxation day, which brings me to rule number 2 on the road trip. First rule is be prepared. Second rule is take time to relax, because a road trip of this caliber will take a lot out of you, mentally, physically, emotionally. And if you're traveling with your family and don't want to cut anybody, hypothetically, you're gonna need time to unwind. And here, we're cheesing like a couple of kids just got a birthday cake. Mainly because we weren't chilling, we were in nice, warm, hot springs water with that beautiful backdrop around us everywhere we look. You need that kind of time. The decompression time on a road trip will keep you alive. Remember I said it. After unwinding at the spa, our main focus was getting to Grand Lake. And as we rolled in, I couldn't help but notice how green it was and start to think about how green it was going to be when we touched down where we touched down. This space was really calming to my soul. Being immersed in nature here was foreshadowing for what we ended up doing. It was a beautiful place for me to unwind with the family. The boss got to do some photo hunting. Heck, even Biggie got a chance to get out in it. And it was exciting because we were worried about how he would act in the wilderness. And he loved it, for the record. I even got myself into some trout, y'all. It was epic. Rule number 3. Always get out of your comfort zone. So, here in Colorado, they had a whole bunch of proteins that you wouldn't normally find anywhere else. The boss had an elk burger. I had something equally exotic and delicious. Now, when you travel, eat like the locals. Ask the locals about the spots, and you will find those hidden gems. This restaurant was steeped in history, dating back to the feud that established this region as a town and as a county. Even talked about the shootouts that happened and the sheriffs that went missing in that area. So again, reach out to the locals and you might find something that you may not have planned on, but are so glad you found. After that epic meal, we went back to the hotel and we got some much needed rest. The next day, we went out to the spot to catch some sunrise photos, and I went out there to put a hurting on some rainbow trout. Listen, when I saw that micro rod tip bend over, I was so excited because that has always been on my list. Catching a trout in trout country is one of my favorite parts of this trip. Rule number 4, and this one, I think, right up there with being prepared, is the most important rule of the road trippers' rules. Find your element. For me, this photo is about being in my element. If you know me, they call me Captain Wiggler because I am about that life. Fishing, water, the outdoors. In this photo, I'm meditating on a number of things. Specifically, as above is below. If you look at this photo, the reflections are mirrored because of the water. There's a saying, the more you go, the less you know. What that means is you find out about yourself if you're willing to be open and honest with yourself. And in this moment, I remember very clearly what I was meditating on. Leaving all of the things that didn't serve me behind me was one of my favorite parts of this road trip. Because the people that don't fit into your future, the places that didn't serve you and held you back, all of these things melt away if you're wise enough to learn the lessons and let them go. In this moment, I was focused on 2 things. 1, clearing my mind for the days ahead. 2, preparing myself for the future. And 3, wrapping my head around what has now become self-made. This moment defined me as a man for the future of my family. And you have to find your element. Be in your zone, be in your place, find your happy place, whatever it is you want to refer to it as. In this moment, I am that. And I challenge you to go on a road trip to find your place. Remember that thing I said about rarely being behind the camera? I found my place while watching the boss find her place. One of my favorite things to do is watch the smile on her face when she catches a shot that she loves. When she's in that moment, nothing else matters. And I'm that way when I play drums, when I perform live, when I'm fishing. All of those instances make me focus on the moment. And one of my favorite things is to watch her take these photos and see the sheer joy in her face. She lights up, y'all. She finds that inner kid. And I think that's why we vibe. Because her place is outdoors like my place is outdoors, wild and free. Which is why moving to West Virginia was one of the best decisions we've ever made. Because we get to do that every day now. So here we are at an awesome cafe, grabbing some food. And at this point in the journey, we were talking about going through the Rocky Mountain State Park and its extreme elevation changes. With the trailer fully loaded down, my truck fully loaded down, all of us in the truck, we were going to go through some really, to say choppy is an understatement. Listen, if you're loaded down and towing something, don't do it. Don't go the way that would be the easy way or the common way. Always, always, always check your route and work your plan. Side note, right outside of this diner is where the infamous Killdozer incident happened. And if you don't know about the Killdozer, that man, also a wrench and a welder, is the embodiment of the American ideal of don't tread on me. I urge you to research that man and his movement because it inspired me to stick to my guns. This delicious spread right here could have been our last meal. Let that sink in for a second. I'll say it again. This delicious spread right here could have been our last meal, because when you plan, you get your outcome. But when there is a bigger plan, you live. We'll get to that here in a second. Because when we left, our intentions were to go one way, but our navigation routed us in a direction that would have saved our lives. It did save our lives in a number of ways. And when I look back on it, it's nothing but divine intervention and God that kept us from doing something that would have most likely ended us up hurt or worse. That leads me to rule number 5. Allow for divine intervention. If you are rerouted in a direction that takes you the long way, do it. Because all you get to do is enjoy more beautiful scenery, as you see here in the photos. Right about this way sign is when we realized that God saved our lives. Because the boss said, wait a second, this isn't the way I remember. And it was in that moment that we realized, also by the hand of you guys reaching out to us, shout out Sasha Jevich, thanks for that intel. That was when we realized that something really bad would have happened had we gone the way that we planned. Remember rule number 5. Rule number 5 is a keeper for a reason. Allow for divine intervention, and you just might live for another road trip. Hey there, General Motors. I know that you don't know me right now, but there's going to be a time very soon when you're going to be like, hey, Captain Wiggler, would you like a Wiggler edition of the Chevy Silverado Extreme? And I will gladly reply yes, because as long as I'm breathing, I'm a bow tie boy till I die. Because I get to say things like, I'm driving the bow tie tied to the Freedom Wagon in America. Welcome to Wyoming. We made it, and we didn't die. Yo, that was really, really close. I can't stress it enough. Remember rule number 5, okay? Counting our blessings and never our stresses, we headed into Wyoming. Beautiful country. If you've never been there, make time to travel to Wyoming, because there's buffalo, and there's buffalo burgers with bacon and cheese and delicious buffalo in the burgers. And I thank God for buffalo, because they're delicious in burgers. Did I say I like buffalo burgers? What I meant to say was, go to Wyoming. Flashback. 2000 was the year. The boss moved to Wyoming from Japan. In 2001, 2 things happened. The Chronic came out, and Anthony hit the scene. Now, Wyoming was a bit of a detour on our West Virginia trip, but necessary to show Anthony where he came from. So these photos and these days that we took, in fact, we took a couple extra days here, were huge in making things go full circle. And when you have an opportunity to do that on a road trip, I encourage you to do that. If it adds extra days, whatever, enjoy the ride. That's rule number 6. Anthony and the boss are standing right in front of the place Anthony was born at. He was only there for a month, but they were really stoked to see that it was still standing. Now, rule number 6 is big. Enjoying the ride means that you get to see awesome things like this and make opportunities for your family to go full circle. It was awesome to hear the stories of how the family was built up here. Now, this building still standing is another story. I almost feel like I could talk about that for a few days. But you got to know that when you dig roots and transplant those roots, they thrive. Being able to go back to the starter pot is one of the biggest metaphors for a farmer. When they lived in this building, they moved in with one suitcase. Very similar to how we moved with the Freedom Wagon with nothing else but what fit in the Freedom Wagon. But just like now, we're making it work. They made it work, and they made a way in and out. This botanical garden and the entire park wasn't there when the boss and Anthony were there. This is a new development. The city of Cheyenne did such a great job of developing and renovating this area and breathing it back to life. Not to mention, I caught a record-sized perch at this park. Look at the smile on my face, y'all. I was tripping out. I thought I was gonna snap my rod in half fighting this thing. Backstory. Here's a backstory about this awesome world record rod-breaking perch. The boss was out photo shooting. That's what she does. She's a photo shooter. And she was on the other side of this pond. Not only that, but she had to pee. She was almost to the bathroom when I called her, y'all. And I said, baby, I got a fish. And she ran all the way around the pond, having to pee with her camera strapped to her to take this picture, which is why I'm laughing so hard in the photo. Listen, the boss was minding her own business, taking photos, and then this wily squirrel pulled up, asking for her wallet. He was about to fight. Look at him. He looks like he works out and does push-ups. He got a chest on him, y'all. But she took his photo anyway. He said, please no photos. She said, nope, I'm taking that photo. And no, I don't have any nuts. Day 2 in Wyoming. We decided to leave the Freedom Wagon at the hotel to explore Estes Park. Side note, very important side note. We established that had we taken the trailer, we probably would have died. So, it's imperative to study your route. Also worth noting, the Rocky Mountain National Park requires reservations to gain access to the park, so plan ahead. Get your reservation and go see this beautiful place. Day 3, leaving Wyoming. Beautiful sunrise, followed by a road trip into corn country, Nebraska. Now, Nebraska, it had a hidden gem. I'm not gonna lie. We went to get gas, and again, asking the locals, found out about this really cool park right up the street. And that is where we found the Sutherland Reservoir. And that is awesome because it's also a hydropower plant. If you don't know what those are, Googleize it, check them out. And if you're ever in Nebraska, check that out because it's a good fishery. There's a lot of cool stuff there. And I landed a slab, another record size perch. Look, I don't mean to brag, but these micro rods, they do work. Okay, they hold their own. And when you're catching slabs like this, you need something with a backbone. So the last time I was in Nebraska, I was in a tour bus. It was nighttime. I got the great honor of driving through Nebraska on our way to Ohio during the day. And when I tell you, to your left, corn. To your right, corn. As far as you can see, corn. I mean that there was a lot of corn. Did I mention corn? Not the rock band or the children of them, but actual corn. Did you hear what I'm saying? So listen, if you're watching this video and you live in Nebraska, God bless you. We drove straight through to get to Ohio. It was nuts. There was fog and corn. There was sunshine and corn. there were wind turbines and corn. I can't stress it enough. If you are looking for a great place to just push through, go ahead and drive all day and get you through corn country. Okay, Chevy, if you're listening, this is about as American as it gets. This is Iowa on a dirt road in a Chevy Silverado, aka the fish getter, pulling the freedom wagon in the middle of corn country. Doesn't get much more American than that. Pretty sure that's how this country gets fed. So if you're listening, I would love a 3500 HD dually with the ability to tow 3 freedom wagons if I wanted to. We would call that the Freedom Train, and we'd be out here. Along the way, we made it a point to take what we call Windows screensaver shots. This is a picture of the boss taking pictures of corn. So what you got is corn on top of corn in 2 photos. But this is as screensaver as it can be. Did I mention corn? So, rule number 7, research where you're staying. We talked earlier about researching the routes, but researching where you're staying at night could mean the difference of you getting your stuff out for the next day or coming out with a whole world of hurt. So, this is Illinois on our last day heading into West Virginia. Now, right next to where we were staying was a state prison, y'all. I mean, you remember that scene in every movie everywhere where the dude walks in to a bar and the entire bar stops talking? That's what happened, y'all. That's what happened. We stayed in a place I slept 0 that night. I went outside 4 different times with my guns to make sure that all my stuff was safe. Again, rule number 7, research your spots. Side note, we didn't take any pictures because we didn't have time. We wanted to get the hell up out of there. Okay, the last leg. Illinois, Indiana, Ohio, into West by God, Virginia. Now, at the time that this photo was taken, we were technically homeless. And truth be told, there was a lot of stuff going on behind the deal of purchasing the new farm at Self-Made Homestead. We didn't know if we were going to buy it or if we were just going to stay in a hotel and find another place, because there was a whole bunch of stuff happening behind the scenes that we didn't really like and weren't too comfortable with. Rule number 8, let go and let God. Because in the coming days after arriving to West Virginia, everything fell into place. Why? Because we acknowledged the fact that we were out of control, and as a family, we prayed. Okay, rule number 9, be thrifty. Just because you're going on a road trip doesn't mean you gotta go broke. Pro tip, before leaving on a road trip that is multi-state, look for a hotel chain that has multi-state locations. For instance, Super 8. If you don't pay us, you should, because we're about to talk you up. Before leaving Nevada, we looked into Super 8. On the way, we joined their membership program. By the time we got to West Virginia, y'all, we were like VIP members. And now, we get free stuff. The first 5 days of our road trip were planned with pre-booked rooms and destination milestones. The last bit of our road trip was setting destination milestones, meaning, hey, how far do you feel like driving today? And then on the way, booking the room for that milestone. 2 different approaches. If you are an OCD planner, you could lay out the whole trip, but I would advise you not to do that for the things you saw during our road trip. The inevitable happens. Missing reservations cost you money, and remember, you gotta be thrifty. Protect your money, y'all. I mean, you don't get self-made by paying somebody else's way or helping their bottom line, right? This last collage of photos is some of my favorites because it is our arrival to West by God, Virginia. It really is beautiful here. And here is just a short sample of some of the things we've seen both on arrival and since we've been here. We took time to really unpack everything and start working on the self-made basement series and all the other things we were doing around the farm, but we also took time as a family to enjoy the beauty that this state has to offer. And if you've never been here, first of all, I would suggest very highly that if you fish, love the outdoors, love wildlife, love forested land, love your freedom, love guns, love God, find out about West Virginia, because all those check marks have been made as it pertains to where we are. And when you're outside, one of the best parts of the journey is being in the moment. We've talked about that. Every day of our lives from now on will be spent enjoying that here in West Virginia. Here it is, y'all. Arrival day. The self-made homestead. You've seen various parts of this series so far, but this is the day we touch down. Notice, Chevy, that we've got your truck looking very beautiful. The fish getter looks great. Also, if you rewind this video to the very first photo of the Freedom Wagon and the fish getter right next to each other, you'll see that both of them have got some road grime on them. They've seen some stuff. And by the time we touched down here, they both had a story to tell. But this is where the next chapter of our lives begins. And we thought we'd take a moment to really express the joys that we feel now. For instance, self-made is about being free. Financially free, mentally free, spiritually free, free. And in purchasing this home, we've set ourselves up for generational poverty to be erased from our families. We have transcended the curse, y'all. Some would say that we are now living the American dream. And through this journey, through this series, and through our movement, we hope to inspire you to do the same thing. These photos of the boss and I with these keys are not a brag. They are a motivator to you, the audience, the people who are watching this content. If we can do it, you can do it. And we encourage you to like, subscribe, and comment on your apprehensions, your goals, your fears, all of these things. Because if we can help you transcend that, we can help you become self-made. And that's the mission. Thanks for tuning in. We love you and we appreciate you. We'll see you on the next one.
In the mirror.
For now, I'm Mike Maye,
Gotta have a conversation.
and that's K Dollar Signs.
See y'all.
And we're signing off.
Real.
Peace.
Let's go. That mirror motivation, I'm the change I wanna see. It's gotta start somewhere, so let the change start with me. The mirror motivation, I'm the change I wanna see. It's gotta start somewhere, so let the change start with me. The mirror motivation, the change I wanna see. It's gotta start somewhere, so let that change start with me. The mirror motivation, the change I wanna see. It's gotta start somewhere, so let that change start with me. Come on. I'm sinning, but I'm winning at the same time. I was chilling for a minute, now it's game time. Put me in, coach, and watch me kill it. There's a doubter in this room, got beef, better grill it. My heart, I'm about to spill it. From my mind is why I did it. No matter the decision, you better just live with it. Got a goal, go get it. Don't give up cause it's easy, come real, they didn't. Winners do what losers won't. It's easy to stand and point when you can't find your voice. They made their choice, so go on, make yours. Do what makes you happy, that's what open locked doors. The ones on your soul, so the story is told. In time, everything you want can be yours in this world, so dream big. The universe is a crazy place, so hands in front of your face and keep punching, kid. Just do it like I did. I got that mirror motivation, the change I wanna see. It's gotta start somewhere, so let that change start with me. The mirror motivation, I'm the change I wanna see. It's gotta start somewhere, so let that change start with me. The mirror motivation, the change I wanna see. It's gotta start somewhere, so let that change start with me. The mirror motivation, I'm the change I wanna see. It's gotta start somewhere, so let that change start with me. Come on. I do it for the fathers and I do it for the sons. For the kids on the block, pray you lay down your guns. I'm trying to change the world for all them little boys and girls. Don't ever stop dreaming or get caught up as it twirls. Keep within yourself, never fail, stand up. I know it looks dark, but they will come a brighter day. Get up. Those who love you, they will take the pain away. Give you the wings to fly, use those wings to soar. Never should you settle, you should be your best and always want more. Change is never bad when it comes to yourself. So look up in the mirror if you ever need some help. We can change the world, it all starts with you and me. With a helping hand from all, we can be the voice of unity. So open up your heart and set your inner child free. Set your inner child free. We got that mirror motivation, the change we wanna see. It's gotta start somewhere, so why not with you and me? The mirror motivation, we the change we wanna see. It's gotta start somewhere, so why not with you and me? The mirror motivation, the change we wanna see. It's gotta start somewhere, so why not with you and me? The mirror motivation, the change we wanna see. It's gotta start somewhere, so why not with you and me? Come on. So why not with you and me? Come on. You and you and you and me. I got the mirror motivation, I'm the change I wanna see. It's gotta start somewhere, so let the change start with me. The mirror motivation, we the change we wanna see. It's gotta start somewhere, so why not with you and me?